So I'm currently working on some homework. The particular task trying to work on is my Chapter 7 discussion forum board for my ethics in criminal justice class. I've only posted a thread. I made one response so far. This is supposed to be a mango strawberry smoothie. Almost done. It's pretty close to 10. It's roughly 9:30 right now. And I just barely went there in time to get the smoothie. I also need to do the last homework assignment for my restorative justice class and the first reflection paper. Based on me going a week without caffeine as part of my community-based corrections class. This is something I wore my shirt for a MPA open house event that was at room 209 at the Seymour Union. MPA is short for Masters of Public Administration. I could do some of that graduate program during my senior year, and also sign up for a language certificate program to be certified as bilingual by working on my Spanish. I've been going on Duolingo every day for more than a year, and I said that at the open house. That stain is because there was pizza at the open house. Oddly enough, I nodded off during the open house and ended up putting some indentations in this hand, presumably from putting it between my stomach or one of my legs and the table. Presumably. That's my theory, at least. Oddly enough, one of the indentations looked like a big scratch. It was around this area. It looked like a long scratch. I first got the normal looking indentation, then the normal indentation was around here, roughly speaking. And then I got the scratch indentation. So I must have nodded off twice. I got some energy drinks at the square that drinking were basically the equivalent of drinking Diet Coke. Because it had aspartame, it was 0 calories and no sugar. My week of no caffeine had ended on Monday, but I waited until basically before the open house to get back on the caffeine. At lunch at Harrison, I made this big pile of French fries. That had basically everything on it. Beef gravy, cheese sauce, sprinkled cheese, bacon bits, sriracha mayo, even a piece of the final thing put on that pile of fries was a piece of steelhead, which is a type of fish that piqued my attention because there was a special label for it describing the fish at Harrison. It was obviously not part of the French fry bar. But by the time I got to the steelhead, my plate was one whole big pile of French fries. I had the usual Sobe life water, but I also had some water too. I technically didn't have any classes today because for my ethnics class, instead of going to the classroom, we went to a Sheriff Baxter event, Understanding Monroe County. It was from 3:30 p.m. to, I believe, 4:45. I asked a question during the event about how a criminal justice major prepares students for law enforcement. Arguably, it prepares students more for law enforcement than the field I want to go into, which is the legal field, specifically being a public defender. For that, you go to law school, but to get into law school, it's ideal to have a criminal justice major for your degree. But it's even more ideal to have a high LSAT score. Well, one of these days, perhaps some months from now, I should probably go on Khan Academy to start practicing the LSAT. And then I should probably take it during my senior year, the official LSAT. By the way, today I didn't leave my dorm room until noon. Around noon. I spent all the time between me going to my dorm room when the library closed and me leaving my dorm room at noon working on the week 6 reflection for my ethnics class, which I finally turned in today during the Sheriff Baxter event.